Ladies and gentlemen, that's Tatiana Blair, the Capital Kids. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your starting lineups. First, for the visiting Bethune-Cookman Lady Wildcats. A sophomore from Sunrise, Florida, wearing number 2, Amaya Scott.
And 1-1 in the MEAC, the Howard Bison
Junior
trying to make a statement against the regular season
number 5,
champs
Armani
last
Walker.
season, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Good afternoon,
Senior
Ryan.
from Deltona, Florida, wearing number 12, Chaz Brown.
Howard is a team that feels like it should compete.
Freshman from Suitland, Maryland, wearing number 22, Tania White.
Where you want to make a statement there.
These are definitely the games where you want to make a statement, but it's going to start on the defensive end for the Bison. Coach Ty wants her team to focus, but most importantly have a team effort on the Wildcats' best player, Angel Gordon.
Yeah, Angel's extremely good. Great shooter, second in the conference in points, second in three-pointers made. She's one of the players that knows how to take over a game, and her team is 5-1 when she scores 20-plus points, showing how valuable she really is to this Bethune-Cookman team.
The Bisons are going to have to slow her down early. And another thing that Howard is going to have to do is be a second-half team. Their last game against UMass, they managed to only shoot 29% field goals in the second half of their game, while in the first half, they were shooting 40% from the field.
Yeah, we saw that here in their first home game of the MEAC season, where they came off very strong. They had a great first half, and they cooled off a little bit in that second half. But I think it's just a matter of potentially just continuing to be aggressive, and then at the end of the day, shots got to fall.
It can't be any slack in that second half, but we're bound to see a fun one here today. Howard fell to Bethune-Cookman the last time they played in overtime, 59-55. So it seems like defense is actually going to be the name of the game for these teams who usually score in the high 70s.
Yeah, both these teams very balanced too. Bethune-Cookman, they're 4th in the conference in defense, 4th in offense. Howard, top scoring team of the conference at 71.8 points per game. Good defensive team as well. They like to push that pace. Bethune-Cookman likes to slow things up and play in the half court. One more point to make. Bethune-Cookman, even though they don't take as many shots as a lot of other teams in the MEAC who like to run and gun, extremely efficient, shooting 39.8% from the field. Being a former player yourself, you look at the stats and you see a team that shoots very well. Do you approach a team like that can hit every shot that they want differently from a squad that might be a little more inconsistent?
The thing is, Howard is just going to have effort, period. You can't look at them any differently than any other team. They're going to have to just lock up and be ready to defend and be ready for anything, knowing that this team can shoot so well.
Let's have a look at the starting lineups for both teams. A slight change for Howard. Their star freshman out with an injury, Kirslyn Marsh. The freshman from Duncanville. Small injury at practice this week from what we're told. She won't play today, but she'll be fine. Here's their starting 5. Ayana Williams is starting at point number 4. She kind of does everything for this team. Sarah Edmond, their top scorer, coming off a rough game at the number 2 spot at shooting guard, hoping to rebound from earlier this week. Kirsten Moore is that number 3 guard player and the 5'9" sophomore from Mount Vernon. Amani Bryant getting the start. Her second start of the year after a really good game earlier this week. A double-double, 16 points, 14 rebounds against Maryland Eastern Shore. And then Jayla Thornton, their top shooter, the sophomore at the other guard position. First in threes made in the conference. She's going to be so valuable today.
She'll definitely be valuable in this game. She went 5 for 10 from 3 last game. That's over 50%, and she finished the game against UMass with 15 points. She's going to have to continue to have that poise and be ready to let it fly for the Bison today.
The starting 5 from Bethune-Cookman. Amaya Scott, the forward, lengthy, long, 6'1" sophomore. She wears number 1. Armani Walker is their point guard, the 5'8" junior from Bunnell, Florida. Number 12 is Chazamy Brown, the senior from Deltona, Florida. Then you've got Golden, number 24, their top scorer, and Tania White is also in the backcourt as well. So really good backcourt here for the Wildcats. Got to be fun to watch today. Wildcats in their road yellow uniforms. Howard in the home whites. A quick turnover, and here comes Howard working right to left. Trying to get off to a quick start. They've been good in the first half of games this year, and they've struggled as the games progress. They're the top rebounding team of the conference, and Amani Bryant pulls one down early.
Yeah, Howard is averaging about 44.5 rebounds a game. That will be very pivotal to their success in today's game.
Quick shot from the outside from Williams. Had 4 threes in their home opener in the MEAC. Did Ayana Williams. On the other end, it's Walker. Over to the wing. Tania White, the freshman, knifing to the rim and scoring.
You like that play right there by number 22. She faked the handoff and just kept it for herself. Nice layup right there.
Here's Edmond, and a foul is called. Sarah Edmond pushing the pace. That's one player you will really want to see get going for Howard today. Edmond got off to a slow start in that home opener, picked it up, had points in the teens. Just 8 points, 4 for 15 shooting against Maryland Eastern Shore in their last game.
She's their bread and butter for the Bison. She shoots 39% from the field. You want to see her have a good game, especially now that we're in conference.
Williams to the top. That's Thornton, leads the MEAC in threes made. Now Edmond. Edmond fires one up and got it to go. Right on cue, Sarah Edmond getting the bucket.
That's the shot that you want to see from Edmond. Nice and confident coming out early in the first quarter.
Coach Ty Grace at Howard showing aggressive play on defense. The full court press, 2-2-1. Now Walker looking towards the post. Howard a little bit thin down low today. Amani Bryant key. She doesn't get in foul trouble. Great interior defense on Brown there.
You see Brown denying Golden from getting the basketball. They don't want to let Golden get going.
Vanessa Blair Lewis, the head coach for Bethune-Cookman. What a career she's had. 11 years, 3 MEAC regular season titles for her team. Then, of course, Ty Grace, that great young squad. Not a single senior on this roster. Turnaround jump shot, good move, couldn't finish. That's Moore, the sophomore. And here goes Bethune-Cookman, BCU, the other way. Walker, out to the right wing, 3-ball, White, and we're tied. Rather 5-3 early lead for the Wildcats.
White is only a 23% shooter from three-point land. To see her let that fly with the type of percentage that she's shooting from shows that she's showing a great deal of confidence.
Bison the turnover. They struggled in that category the past couple games. Against a top team like Bethune-Cookman, projected to finish second in the conference, Howard fourth. Both teams very good non-conference seasons. As a foul is called on Jayla Thornton.
Jayla Thornton doesn't have an easy task guarding Nia Woods. Fun fact about Nia, she was first team all-conference in track in high school, so she has some speed on her.
Out to the top is Walker. Pass down low, and there is a foul on Bryant, so Amani Bryant picking up her first foul. Again, so valuable that Bryant doesn't pick up fouls early in this game. Chrislyn Marsh is out with an injury, the freshman post player for Howard. Bryant coming off that double-double. Right corner 3, Bryant the rebound. Good inbounds play by the Wildcats. Now here's Edmond, already with 3 points, driving, getting to the rim. Offensive rebound, Howard from the right wing. And the Bison take the lead on the 3-ball off the second chance opportunity. Jayla Thornton knocking down her first deep ball.
And we're going to see probably about 4 more of those the way that she shoots from behind 3.
That's great to see for Howard. Already 3 offensive rebounds, and that's probably where they have their biggest advantage against Bethune-Cookman, is on the glass. As a pass goes to the right baseline, Scott. Now Armani Walker, the junior already with a triple. Bounce pass stolen by Williams. She hit the official, and Williams not happy about that. Just kind of some bad luck there, as Ayana Williams was trying to go for the fast break.
Well, what do you do in that situation? The referee is right there. It's like she almost had to keep going that way. That's where her momentum was pushing her. That's just unfortunate that it ended in a turnover.
Can't really fault the official there, too. He tried to get out of the way. Just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Down low pass to the right block. Good ball movement from the Wildcats. Nifty left-handed layup. Hangs on the rim. Bryant taps, and it's pulled down by Thornton.
Ty Grace has really done her homework on Golden. Every player that gets on her is denying her the basketball in her chest, not trying to let her catch it.
That's a great point, Akira. We're watching how the The Bison defend Angel Goldman. She wears number 24 for the Wildcats. Second in the conference in points. She's the reigning MEAC Player of the Year. A huge part of this team. And Howard's done a good job defending her so far. Another turnover from Bethune-Cookman. And Kelsey Jacobs getting a chance early. Played just 4 minutes, scored 3 points in the last game for the Bison. Jacobs, a 5'10 sophomore from Springfield, Massachusetts, wearing 00. Off the pick, Edmonds, and a foul is called. It's a defensive foul on number 24, Golden, her first. Angel Golden, the 5'8 senior, out of Tampa, Florida, 20.2 points per game, second in the league in scoring, scored 21 in their win earlier this week against NC Central. Edmond against Golden, that's a matchup we're watching.
Two incredible scorers, and now we see on the other end, Golden can also play some defense.
Yeah, Golden, 21 steals now this year. Quick pass to the baseline, feet down low. Bryant right there to poke it away. Amani Bryant's defense has been so good this year.
She's been very long and physical with every player that comes down in the post, making sure she knows that her presence is there and known.
Walker to inbound. Thornton in front of her, 23 to shoot, 5:35 left to go in this first quarter. Two teams that you think will be there at the end of the conference season at the top as a second chance point for Golden, her first bucket today. And back on top go the Wildcats. Now they come out in that 2-2-1 full court press.
Both teams are showing off their pressing skills, trying to either speed the other team up and get some steals.
Edmond passes on the three, pulls up from 15, missed it long. Rebound Bethune-Cookman. Tania White was on the board, and now it's Walker. Circling back out to the right wing.
Bethune-Cookman is a team that is very patient in their offense. You see, they're not rushing to get a score, looking for the right player and pass.
They're fourth in the conference in points, but they lead the conference in field goal percentage, which probably reflects they're an efficient team. Take less shots, but make a higher portion of them. Good block underneath by Kelsey Jacobs, as she has the tall task of defending Golden and did it perfectly. Wildcats on top, 7-6 early. Just over 5 minutes into this first quarter, an official timeout. We'll take one with them on the Howard Bison Network.
Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today. The Howard Experience allows students to engage in self-exploration through sports, music, dance, and debate. A journey towards excellence in leadership for America and the global community. This is the Howard Experience.
Wildcats lead the Bison 7-6. Tight one early to Kira. This is probably the pace the Wildcats want to play at, but Howard seems pretty comfortable.
Howard seems like we've been here before, we've done this, and it also looks like they're settling in a bit from last week's loss. They're not being sped up. They're just playing their game, and that's what they'll have to do in order to stay in this game and make this a tight contest.
Yeah, Howard's coming off a tough loss to Maryland Eastern Shore, 80-72. They only scored 16 points in that second half. And I would guess sometimes as a player, when a team struggles so mightily from the field, there may be some carryover to the next game. That's a concern at least, but right now Howard seems pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they do seem pretty confident. And another thing about Howard, they got outscored in the fourth quarter alone, 21-10. So it's not really the first half woes that get this team. It's usually in the second half where they struggle. So they're hanging on right now and doing well. And
somebody forgot their assignment. Tania White opened for the easy two. On the other end, a misfire. And now pushing is Amaya Scott. Scott in the front court, Williams on her, and a travel is called as Scott lost control. That's what you can't have against this Wildcats team. Very fundamentally sound. They run great plays out of timeouts. So you got to make sure you keep in front of your player. Edmond out of the trap. Howard's done great with the pressure so far. We approach 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter. 3-point lead for the Wildcats. 3 from Edmond. She already has 1.
I like that shot by Edmond, but I would also like to see her rip and go to the right, jump stop, and potentially get a layup on that last play.
3 from Golden. Got it. Angel Golden now has 5 points, leads the conference with 20 per game, and the lead is the biggest so far for either team at 6. Howard Bison trying to make a statement here. 1-1 in conference play against a team that won the regular season last year in the MEAC. Jayla Thornton leading the conference in threes along there.
What you don't want to see from Howard is them living and dying by the three-point shot. They have the ability to get to the basket, and quite frankly, that's where their bread and butter is, so they need to start trying to attack.
Brown picked up her dribble. Now Golden. Ayanna Williams, the best defensive guard Howard has. On her like a glove, 7 to shoot. And a foul is called on Howard. Tough break there with only 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Those are the type of fouls that you just really hate. You get it down to 5 seconds, and, you know, you really want that stop.
What did a coach say to you if you ever committed a foul like that?
Okay, so now you're going to play defense for another 30 seconds, basically.
Pass down low. Bryant loves playing defense. She's been great so far, defending the post. Out to the wing. 3 is long. Saved by Bethune-Cookman, but right to Gia Thorpe, who just checked in. Thorpe looking to push, the freshman from Pittsburgh. Now to Williams. Runner, got it. Ayanna Williams shot puts it in.
That's a tough shot by Williams, but another thing that Vanessa Blair-Lewis' team is doing, they're getting back pretty quickly on defense, trying to stop Howard in transition.
A turnover from Bethune-Cookman as Amani Walker lost it going down the sideline. 12-8. A 6-point run for Bethune-Cookman was stopped on the runner from Ayanna Williams. Now Howard tries to get a little run going themselves, and a travel's called on Thorpe. Both teams a little bit sloppy so far with the ball. They've shot well. 4 or 5 turnovers for both squads. Now here's Kamari Harris, the freshman from Suffolk, Virginia. Off the pick, and a foul is called. That's got to be number 4 on Howard.
That was well defended until Jacobs reached in, and that's a call that the refs will be looking for.
Golden in for Bethune-Cookman. There's a steal from Thornton on the other end. The layup is down. That's actually Tariah Johnson, who just checked in. Great defensive player. Quick 2 points, and the lead is down to 2. And Tariah's got those long arms. Really defends the perimeter well. Here's Harris working on Thorpe. Back to the bucket. Brown working on Bryant. Bryant altered the shot, got the block. Now Jacobs. Bryant off that great game, double-double against Maryland Eastern Shore. Howard can tie with a 2 with 90 seconds left, take the lead with a 3. Been a back and forth first quarter. And a foul is called, hand check on Bethune-Cookman.
Howard is really running their sets today, and I like seeing that from them. They don't look rushed or sped up at all.
We've talked about it this quarter. They feel like they're comfortable with the pace that Bethune-Cookman has set this half-court offense.
Yeah, and they're playing like it. You don't see too many rush shots or bad shots. The only thing, like I said before, is the threes, and you can take some threes, give or take, but they're trying to definitely attack the basket on this Bethune-Cookman defense.
Nice crossover from Thorpe. It was blocked by Brown as Bethune-Cookman packing it in on the defensive end. Golden, 5 already. Rebound Thorpe. Now Gia Thorpe wants a push. Crossed over in front of Golden. That's trouble. And the steal. Now Scott out to Walker. Always paceful with 53 seconds left. The Wildcats will reset. A little deke. Walker getting to the rim, and Bryant's right there waiting for her.
This is Bryant playing some great defense. She has 9 blocks on the year. Well, she can add to that right now.
The juniors really played well over the past couple games, and a foul is called. Amani Bryant coming off that huge double-double versus Maryland Eastern Shore. Good post player. She's reliable. That's what Coach Ty Gray says she likes about her, and has just been really impressed with her improvement already throughout the year. Ayanna Williams at the free throw line. Good foul shooter, 76%. Rims in the first.
First attempt is good. She'll take another.
Williams struggled last game, just 5 points on 1 of 9 shooting. She's such a major spark plug for this team.
She is. You want to see her perform well and do things such as get to the foul line because she shoots such a great percentage from the stripe. She'll be big in today's game in order for Howard to pull out the win.
Hits them both, 4th in the conference in free throw percentage. We're tied at 12. Bethune-Cookman led by 6, and now a quick 6-0 run from the Bison. Two teams projected to finish at the top of the conference, and a jump ball is called as Williams picked it off. That's the second time today Williams has made a nice steal on that near side baseline. And first it was the official, and now it's a Wildcats official, or rather defensive player that stepped in front of her.
Yeah, that's okay. She's being active at least, and that's all you can really ask for. The plays will start coming as long as she gives that effort.
Nearly 30 steals already. And I think there's some discussion about who actually has the jump ball.
Also, the shot clock. The refs are looking at.
Say it's Bison ball, and you're right. Shot clock still reads 14 seconds. And now it's turned off. So Howard has it. 3-quarter court. 23 seconds to work with. They can take the lead here to close out the first quarter.
Try to hold it to get that last shot so you won't give the Wildcats an opportunity to score at the other end before the end of the first.
Ayanna Williams. Good first quarter for her. Working on Walker. Williams with 8 into the double team. Kicks it back out to Jacobs. Jacobs from 15, a bit long. Rebound pulled down by Bethune-Cookman. 1 to shoot, and a shot won't go up. So we've played 10. Even game so far. Wildcats 12, Bison 12 on the Howard Bison Network.
One of the main reasons I did decide to join the registry is because the lack of African American representation on the registry is our responsibility.
Good first quarter from the Bison, even with Bethune-Cookman 12-12. Akira, it looked like at one point the Bison down by 6. They were struggling really to find a good shot. Were in trouble in that first quarter. Maybe a hangover from earlier this week, but they picked things back up. A 6-0 run to close out the quarter.
Well, basketball is indeed just that, a game of runs. Seemed like the Wildcats punched first, but the Bison were poised enough to be able to get their footing back, and that's what they'll have to do in a game like this. There are going to be runs, and I think the Wildcats will go up, but as long as the Bisons can respond, they'll be in pretty good shape.
That's Akira Carter. I'm Ryan Pierce. Thanks for watching. Howard Bison women's basketball taking on Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman projected to finish at the top of the conference. They won the regular season last year. They brought back their all-conference, their player of the year in Angel Golden. Howard's done a pretty solid job against her defensively so far in this game.
They have, but they'll have to keep it up in this second quarter. Don't think Angel isn't going to try to show up. She's their MEAC player of the year in the 17-18 season, so she has a lot of willpower to put the ball in the basket. Howard will have to continue to have that defensive focus, as Ty Gray said earlier on in the week.
Golden has 5. Tania White has 7 for Bethune-Cookman. More of a balanced attack from Howard. Williams has 4, 3 from Edmond, 3 from Thornton, and Tariah Johnson that steal in the bucket. Ayanna Williams pushing. Kelsey Jacobs came in early. She's played well. Extended minutes so far in this first half. Gia Thorpe looking down low and turns it over. Trying to find Bryant. Good idea from the Bison, just couldn't finish the play.
Good idea. Have to have a sharper pass on that one. I would throw it up a little higher. Make that big girl go and get it.
Amani Bryant, 6'1", long arms, playing great defense so far. Had a season-high 16 points against Maryland Eastern Shore. She's played most of this first half. Wide open from the free throw line, Scott cans it. Bit of a breakdown defensively for Howard.
She's a 40% field goal shooter. You can't have those type of breakdowns with those easy baskets right there by Scott.
Good feed down to Bryant. She finished off the play. Bryant did a great job sealing off the defensive player there.
She did, and she stepped to the ball. They can be able to get that type of play all day as long as she's posting up hard.
Open look left wing is dropped in. That is Kendall Fincher. Actually, that was White. 8 points for her.
And how about White? She has 2 threes on the afternoon and only shooting 23% from long distance.
A foul down low. Good shooting team. Bethune-Cookman tops in the conference. You give them space, and they've had a couple open looks to start this quarter. They're going to make most of them. 17-14, three-point lead for the Wildcats. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday. 1-1 Howard Bison in the MEAC. They're 8-6 overall, the Wildcats are 1-0. There's a jump shot from 15 as Williams created space.
That is a tough step back right there.
6 points for Williams. He's also got a couple assists. She had that great first half last week in the conference opener for the Bison.
It's something about playing home that makes you want to just do a little bit better. You're more familiar with your rims, your spots on your home floor.
That is a real thing, though. I think people underestimate how comfortable it is to play in your own gymnasium when it comes to just knowing the floor.
Yeah, you shoot on this court every single day or practice, you know, so you're going to be more familiar with where to shoot at when you're playing at home.
Another steal for Howard. Asia McCants getting some time, picked it away, and then it was knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bison.
These girls are playing above the rim a little bit today. They're meeting people at the basket, really trying to swat some shots out there.
Both these teams playing aggressive. It's been fun to watch their attack in the basket, putting pressure on post defenders, and so far they've responded. Put back no good. Another tip from Howard as Star Fitzgerald Greer got a hand on it. Williams to the rim, got it, +1. Ayanna Williams trying to take over.
Ayanna Williams is really that spark player and energy type glue player for the Bison. They need her to play well in order for the other team to pick up behind her. And Edmond is, well, she's subbing back in right now. Even when Edmond is out of the game, you can rely on Williams to continue to bring that energy.
Preseason All-MEAC, third team. Reliable both offensively and defensively. Local player, the junior, sinks the free throw. Talking to Coach Ty Grace, and she just praised Williams as this player that wanted to stay local. She wanted to represent Howard and everything that it means in her community and just be kind of a face for this young team.
And it shows. She puts everything out on the floor, especially when they're playing in the Bison, in the Bird Gymnasium.
Bison have their first lead since really the opening minutes of this game. Foul on Star Fitzgerald Greer. Walker to inbound. Howard trying to get its second win at home this year in the MEAC.
That's a nice move right there. Nice up and under finish.
Tania White, yeah, only averaging, like you said, 5 points per game. That's already, what, her 4th field goal so far today?
Maybe she's trying to show out. She's from Suitland, Maryland, so not too far from here. Has some fans looking on, or some family here at the game today.
Yeah, that's a good point. Helped Largo High School win the Maryland 2A state championship in 2016. as the ball goes out of bounds. There's a couple players from Maryland on this Bethune-Cookman team, and you have to think maybe a little more incentive to come out with a big game today.
Being home definitely makes you want to be a bit better, although this is already a good Bethune-Cookman team.
19-19. It's been a fun one so far. Stepping through as Williams got her own rebound and put it in. I think
Williams is just everywhere. This scrappy player puts up the shot with 1 second left, gets her own rebound, and goes back up with it.
I think Vanessa Blair-Lewis may have been looking for a travel. I think she kept her pivot foot down, though. Out to the right side, deep three. That one was from Fincher, and it's long. Now Edmond, her team up by 2, getting to the paint, and a foul is called. And you're right, Takira. The Bison really looking to put the ball down low and pressure the interior defense.
And that's what they have to do, get them off their toes. It seems like the Wildcats aren't pressuring up as much, giving Howard the opportunity to attack the basket and get some easier looks. And that's what Howard likes to do anyway, so it's working out in their favor.
Speaking of Maryland players, Brianna Hardy wearing number 10 for the Wildcats. Out of Waldorf, Maryland in. Only her second game she's played this year.
Brianna Hardy is a great player. I actually played with her at Sacred Heart before she transferred. Yeah.
Give us a scouting report on her.
Great physical, aggressive player, likes to attack the basket. Good defensive presence as well. Has some injuries, though, so college career hasn't been as great as she wanted it to be, but overall, great player.
Hence her second game, battling injuries, wearing number 10. A couple Maryland players out there for the Wildcats. Johnson, the lefty, already 2 points. Good move. Nice defense underneath by the Wildcats. On the other end, driving, Hardy. Shot altered, good play, just couldn't finish, and now here comes Edmond. Edmond pushing, she has to her right Johnson. Johnson up and under. Put back from McCants, and it's off her right thigh and out of bounds.
They are just not falling for Johnson. That's the right idea right there, and honestly, you can't get a better shot than that. The ball seems to be rolling in and out for her today, so hopefully she can get a couple to go down.
Coach Ty Grace very confident with the bench today. A couple players playing extended minutes in this first half. They played well, Johnson being one of them.
Well, the bench had 38 points in their last game against University of Maryland Eastern Shore, so she has every right to be confident in that bench.
Scott driving, tosses it up, Edmond the rebound. Howard's such a young team, not a senior on this roster. Williams, she's thinking step back and draws contact. That's already 5 fouls on Bethune-Cookman.
When you think about it, Howard doesn't have a senior on this roster, so Edmond and Williams kind of have to have that senior mentality with the most experience on this young Bison team.
Ayana at the free throw line. Already a couple buckets in this quarter. Bethune-Cookman led most of that first quarter. Their biggest lead was 6. Howard, though, came back with a 6-0 run to close out the first quarter. As Williams, a rare miss there, shooting nearly 80% from the free throw line. And Howard has led for the past couple minutes. Bison 1-1 in the MEAC, trying to get back in the win column. Bethune-Cookman 1-0. They were projected to finish second this year, Howard 4th. Howard, a young, balanced squad. Bethune-Cookman, so many weapons, but most notably, Angel Golden, the reigning MEAC Player of the Year. She's been quiet so far, at least by her standards, just 5 points, averaging 20 per game right now on the bench.
Bison should take advantage while she is on the bench.
Here's Harris. At the top, it's Scott. She looks down low, another steal, and again it's Williams, her third today. Ayana Williams playing a great first half. Nice move to McCants, the left-handed layup and finish. And a timeout is taken by Bethune-Cookman. The play from Ayana Williams has been spectacular in this first half. She has her team up 24-19.
Do it 'cause it feels right.
Williams has really sparked her team so far today. She has Howard on top, 24-19. As we look at the bench for Bethune-Cookman, it's been kind of a different game for the Wildcats. Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis has really gone with her bench so far, and right now, the home team Bison are taking advantage of it.
They have to take advantage of it while Golden is on the bench, and it's now looking like Howard has the stronger of the two benches in this first half, so they can continue to capitalize off of that. And then you have players like Williams creating for others. That last drop-off that she gave to McCants, you can't draw that up. That's something that just happens, and that was a beautiful play right there to get her team ahead 24-19 in this early second quarter.
And this has been kind of the Ayanna Williams type game. She's playing great defense, getting steals, and then on the offensive end, not settling for threes like you see so many guards do these days. She's really attacking the rim.
Balanced and poised. She's just flowing with the game, and that's what you want to see. Don't put too much pressure on trying to force things.
Huge first half for her, 12 points, 3 rebounds, a couple assists and steals. Another turnover. Edmonds got a look from the right wing and finds the net. Sarah Edmond, a couple threes. That is such a welcome sight for the Bison. Edmond 4 for 15 against Maryland Eastern Shore. She's their leading scorer, and that player on the offensive end, you need her making those shots.
Sometimes you're going to have a rough game. You know, she's put up significant amount of numbers in the early going, but now especially is the time that they need her to play at her best. Conference is all about getting to the ring, and you want to see her shine, and so far she's done so in the early going of this game.
Amani Walker trying to find the paint. It was tipped away. Now the official says she just lost it, and a turnover for Bethune-Cookman. That's number 11 already for them in this game. Ayanna Williams off the double screen. Kicking back out is Fitzgerald Greer. She's got an outside shot, missed long there. That's a good play call. Looks like the Wildcats are on the baseline, though.
You know, I'm not mad at that shot. She shoots 31% from 3. She doesn't shoot it too often, so might as well have let that one fly.
Yeah, Star Fitzgerald Greer, she's that typical stretch 4. Nice move. Getting to the rim is Sarah Edmond. And Sarah Edmond has 5 straight points.
That was a nice move. Silky smooth to the basket by Edmond.
All of a sudden, a 10-point lead for the Bison. They're on a 12-0 run. They have Bethune-Cookman on their heels. Face-up jump shot is missed. Rebound Edmond. Here comes Williams. Looking to push. Trying to feed Fitzgerald Greer, and it's knocked out of bounds. Good defensive recovery from Brown.
Bethune-Cookman, they shoot 39% to top of the MEAC, but their shots don't seem to be falling right now, and Howard is doing everything in their power to try to capitalize on that.
Yeah, Howard's been great defensively. Point to remember, Bethune-Cookman a better second-half team. Howard struggled a little bit in the second half this year, so we'll see how that plays out as we approach halftime. Walker. Bison shooting right around 40% today, about 38%.
Golden is back in the game, and McCants is face guarding her all up in her grill, literally not letting her touch the ball.
A little sidestep to the rim as the shot clock expired and Walker missed it. On the other end, Williams. McCants has space. A little bit long. Rebound cupped by Brown. Yeah, what's what you're told as a kid? Point your pistols, know where the ball is and where your player is. Right now, the McCants is just thinking, I'm going to face guard Golden and not let her get any breathing room.
That's good scouting by Coach Ty Grace. They're probably practiced that. She's averaging the most on the team with 20 points a game. Have to face guard or almost play a box-and-one type style defense.
It is tipped out. It'll be Bison basketball. So far, Golden, the player we highlighted at the beginning. Her team is 5-1 when she scores 20-plus points. She's got 5 so far. Now Edmond. Off the pick, looking for a third three. Wide left.
The Bison are settling a bit. They need to go back to what is working for them, which is getting the ball, attacking the basket, trying to draw some fouls.
Down low feed. Good position for Brown. Better defense from Fitzgerald Greer.
Great defense. She made herself a wall on that play. If you don't bring your hands down, then the rest won't call it.
Rebound McCants. Edmond has space. Now she's going to try to get that third three. And again, Long. Brown the rebound. White. She's had the best half so far for Bethune-Cookman. And a foul is called underneath as Williams bravely tried to take the charge.
Now you see, we have around 1 minute and 43 seconds left in this game. This is the time where Howard usually starts slowing down, and we're seeing that trend going on right now. They're getting shot happy from three. Am I mad at the three from the corner by Edmond? No. But could they get a better shot with this lead so that they continue to capitalize on that lead? Yes.
I've always felt like as a team with, say, a double figures lead, a 10-point lead, these are the most important points in the game. When you have about 100 seconds left in the first half, you don't want to let up. You want to keep the foot on the pedal.
Of course, and the Bison have to do that so they can break this cycle of going into halftime with this lead and then slowing down as halftime nears.
Great first half for the Bison, led in scoring by Ayanna Williams. She's in double figures. Tanya White at the free throw line now has 13 to lead Bethune-Cookman. That snaps a 12-0 run for the Bison. Been a good first half. Two very good teams. One of them likes to run in Howard. The other one prefers the half-court offense. Good feed to Bryant down low. How about that ball movement? Perfect play from Coach Ty Grace.
Nice play and a nice strong dive to the basket by Bryant. She had her hands off, made herself a target for that ball to get to her.
White will reset as they look to Coach Blair Lewis for a play. Now White, top of the key, Scott. Here's Golden with McCants on her. 4 to shoot. Now 3. Nice spin move. Walker got down low and lost it.
Now that is great defense. Didn't get a foul like that last play where I said they played great defense for 25 seconds and then let them score. No, this time it ended in a turnover, so that's a great defensive effort by Edmond.
Coach Ty Grace has to be extremely happy with the defensive effort. Bethune-Cookman has not had a lot of open looks, and they've also turned the ball over, but it's been the pressure from Howard that's forced that.
Yes, and Howard has jumped on them pretty early with that defensive pressure. They set the tone in that first quarter and let it carry over to the second. So I'm sure Ty Grace is happy with her team's effort on defense.
Williams trying to draw the contact. A little bit short on the shot. Bethune-Cookman can get a 2-for-1 here. Now they'll pull back and take their final shot. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
And you see Thornton playing up the line, on Golden, but
a rare open look there for Walker as she gets the rim and scores. That's her first couple points. Now with 5 to shoot, it's Edmond. Edmond double clutches. A little bit short. And that is how the first half will end. One the Bison have to be happy about as they finish it on a 14-4 run, and they lead 31-22 at the break.
One of the main reasons I did decide to join the registry is because the lack of African American representation on the registry. It's our responsibility to register. This is something that we can control. You can do this. Think about if it was your child. Think about if it was your sister. Don't let fear be the only reason that you don't save a life.
Big slate of games this month for the Bison as they take on Morgan State later, or rather next week on a Monday. And then on the 26th, after a week off, they're back at home against Delaware State and then host Maryland Eastern Shore, a chance to get a little revenge after a tough game earlier this week against Eastern Shore. This is a big one, though, about midway through the month here in January against Bethune-Cookman, a team that is projected to finish second in the conference. They won the regular season last year. So far, Howard's played them pretty well.
Howard has played them pretty well. And Bethune-Cookman is a little behind in the conference. They've only played one game so far, so getting them at that 1-1 record would ultimately be the Bison's goal in today's game. And Howard just doesn't want to fall to 1-2 in this early going in conference because they are better than that. They're projected to finish 4th in the conference, but when they come out and jump on teams the way that they've done in this first half with the 31-22 lead, they're capable of finishing higher.
19-10 run to close out, rather a 19-10 advantage for Howard in that second quarter. What did you like specifically about the Bison's play during that period?
I like the pace of the Bison's play. Now, at some points, the shot selections weren't necessarily the best, but overall, their pace of trying to get to the basket, finding the open man, finishing hard was what I really credited. And I also loved their defensive effort. You saw on the last play I pointed out, Thornton was up the line on Golden, meaning that she had her hands in the passing lane and was denying her the ball. You don't want a player like Golden to get going. And in this early going, Golden only has 5 points, and she averages about 20 a game. You have to keep her on locks in order to have a good second half for the Bison.
We'll go over the full stats when we come back. We'll take one more break and come back. It's Howard Bison basketball on the Howard Bison Network.
The new celebration rules are in place, and Pepsi is all for it. So what's big man Joe Staley doing? He's celebrating a touchdown he didn't score. The sad truth is, the odds of a guy like Joe scoring a real touchdown are the same as 0. But it's fun to dream, isn't it? Even if those dreams are delusional. Hey, there's no I in impossible, Joe. There is, there's 2. Shh.
Howard leading 31-22 against Bethune-Cookman. Ryan Pierce, Tykeer Carter. And I looking at the box score. Howard shot 30% in that first half. Bethune-Cookman shot 36%. The big number is, though, Howard got up 39 shots in part because of their great defense against Bethune-Cookman.
Well, great defense leads to offense, so they keep at it, and it'll continue to be a great game.
Yeah.
Ryan, something that was very glaring to me on the stat sheet, 11 offensive rebounds by Howard. They are killing them on the glass, which is ultimately leading to those second chance points. They're out rebounding Bethune-Cookman right now 27-17. If they keep up that effort on the glass, they should be able to actually blow this game wide open and have a more comfortable lead.
Howard is the best rebounding team in the conference. That was one area we talked about in the pregame and we wanted to keep tabs on, where they probably had the advantage over Bethune-Cookman, a team that's so well balanced, and they're playing to that advantage. They're crashing the offensive glass, and they're limiting the Wildcats, a great shooting team, to only one shot per possession.
And that's credit once again to that defense. I'm pretty sure Ty Grace just ingrained that into their head this week in practice. Defense, defense, defense. But it shows, and those are the types of things that you want to do, especially in conference. You go over that scouting report, and you know what you need out of your team. And defense is merely just effort, focus, and paying attention to really what your coach wants out of you.
Ayanna Williams took that message to heart. She has 12 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds on 4 of 8 shooting, really leading the way for the Bison in this game so far. Sarah Edmond, nice to see her play well, 8 points and 3 rebounds. Amani Bryant, 4 points, 5 boards, 3 for Jayla Thornton, 2 for Aisha McCants. She has 4 rebounds, though, including 3 offensively. And then 2 points for Taraya Johnson, as she played very well in that first half off the bench.
Everybody is coming in from off the bench and giving effort, and that's what I like to see. A strong bench makes it so much easier to win games because you know that, okay, one of my starters has to come out, and they're going to need a breather eventually.
Nobody's superhuman.
Nobody, but Golden is actually pretty superhuman. This is the first game where she's actually had a rest in 5 games. She's played 5 games straight where she's played 40 minutes. And she's actually sat down here in this Bison game. So I don't know if that's why she's had such a slow start as well. She's not used to sitting down and having a rest. But Angel Golden has only played 9 minutes so far.
She picked up those 2 early fouls. She has 5 points, 2 for 6 shooting. That will probably be the big storyline, and then Tania White leads the way for Bethune-Cookman, looking towards that second half. You have to think Angel Goldman will probably get going. How does Howard handle that play from her? We'll see.
You ride the highs and you survive the lows. It's going to be runs by Bethune-Cookman. They weren't picked second for, no reason. They have to continue to just be sharp on defense and know their assignments. It's going to be some breakdowns at some points. That's just a part of the game of basketball. But besides that, I think they'll be fine if they have that same focus and lock in.
We'll take another break and come back and look towards the second half. Howard leading at halftime 31-22. A lot of great basketball left on the Howard Bison Network.
D-City Smokehouse, a traditional barbecue taste in an unconventional setting. We pride ourselves with smoking the best quality meats daily, with an emphasis on texture, tenderness, and bursts of flavor. Located at 203 Florida Avenue Northwest. Known for our own DC style, D-City Smokehouse strives to serve the best barbecue in town.
Everyone's feeling good here at Burr Gymnasium. Howard leading 31-22. Remember, follow us on social media. Howard University Athletics on Facebook, HU Bison Sports on Twitter, Instagram, HU Bison Sports as well. And also hit us up with that hashtag #BleedBlue. And right now, Howard playing well, up 31-22, but they struggled a little bit in a recent second half, so you want to try to keep that going, this momentum, this play going as they go to the second half.
Second half will be very big for Howard. As we know, in their last game against Bethune-Cookman, I mentioned it earlier, they were shooting 40% from the field in the first half, dropped all the way down to 29% in the second half. They can't have that type of mental lapse in this game if they expect to win.
Ryan Piestak here, Carter. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you spending your Saturday afternoon with us. Howard 1-1 in conference play. Bethune-Cookman, they're 1-0. And it's one of those early matchups in the regular season for the MEAC that you want to come out and win. You're at home, you want to win your conference games, especially against the top teams.
These are definitely statement games. If Howard can come in, win this one, it might have some other people in the conference scared. Like, okay, I see you, Howard, and they are more than capable of winning this game, but the second half is going to be pivotal for their success.
Speaking of the rest of the conference, let's quickly look at some of the other games in action today. Norfolk State is at Coppin State. North Carolina Central at Maryland Eastern Shore. Savannah State is on the road against Florida A&M. North Carolina A&T State at Delaware State. And then South Carolina State is on the road against Morgan State. We'll take one more break and come back, and we'll get our keys for the second half and get ready for some fun action. Howard on top by 9 at the break of the Howard Bison Sports Network.
What lies within Howard is quite simply a promise that every son, every daughter of this institution will find within its halls a unique and fulfilling educational experience, the Howard Experience. Here, we educate tomorrow's leaders today with solid preparation to meet the demands of an ever-evolving global society. Howard University offers students more than 120 areas of study, leading to undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees. The Howard Experience fosters creativity and allows students to engage in self-exploration through sports, music, dance, and debate. A journey towards excellence in leadership for America and the global community. This is the Howard Experience.
Howard basketball tickets on sale now. Visit www.bisontickets.com. The great R.J. Cole, top scorer in the MEAC for the men's side. We'll see him after this one. And then Ayanna Williams, what a first half from her. 12 points, 4 rebounds. Let's see if she can keep that up here in the second. She's really playing good basketball on both ends.
She's setting the tone for her team and being an all-around player. Coaches love when players are not one-dimensional. She's passing the ball, scoring, pulling down rebounds. As you said, she has 4 right now, and 4 for 5 from the stripe. So continue to keep up that great free throw shooting. 2
big keys we talked about at the top of the broadcast. Both check marks for Howard. Control the glass. That was their one spot we thought they had a really good advantage. They're out rebounding Bethune-Cookman 27-17. And then try to contain Angel Golden. So far they've done that. She has had foul problems. They limited her to 5 points on 2 of 6 shooting in that first half.
That'll be something that they'll have to keep up in this second half. Golden is a player who can get going, so I just wouldn't let her set in and get comfortable. And the Bison have done good thus far. They can't have mental lapses on defense in this half in order to pull out this win. And they also need to continue to push the tempo, be a threat in transition, and finish those bunnies around the basket.
That was one thing I think that was a little bit surprising from Howard in that first half. They were content with a half-court offense, the Bethune-Cookman pace. Do you expect them, where they're playing well, to maybe continue that in the second half, or maybe try to push it a little bit more?
They'll have to play it however Bethune-Cookman is playing defense on them. I think they read what Bethune-Cookman was doing well, which got them their opportunities around the basket, or when they were shooting the threes, it's because Bethune-Cookman played them a certain way in defense. So they'll have to pretty much just read and react, but most importantly, not rush, and that's why they had such a successful first half of basketball.
Howard outscored Bethune-Cookman 19-10 in that second quarter, a very good period for Howard. They had a hard time this past week in the second half against Maryland Eastern Shore. Only scored 16 of their 72 points in the second half against Maryland Eastern Shore after leading at halftime. Bethune-Cookman only allowed 13 points in their game against NC Central in the second half. So we're at that point where Howard has kind of struggled and Bethune-Cookman has really excelled. And I'm sure Ty Grace was talking about that with their players at the halftime.
Today will have to be the day that Howard tries to break that cycle in the second half. It can't be an every game thing. You'll never be successful and win ball games that way. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, Coach Ty Grace has stressed that. But on the other end, Coach, the 3-time Coach of the Year, Vanessa Blair-Lewis, she knows what type of second half team that Howard is. So she's probably stressing that to her players that they're not particularly great in the second half either. So they have to come out and put the foot on the pedal first.
Yeah, Howard had that great first half as well against Florida A&M. They ended up winning last week. We were on the call for that game. Thinking back to last Saturday when Howard had a 21-point lead at halftime, they gave that up in the second half, and Florida A&M was actually leading in the fourth quarter. Comparing the first and second half from what we saw last Saturday, what was the big difference in your mind? For me, it was just shots weren't falling, but for you, what was the big difference for the Bison?
For me, it just looked like they were a little slower, not getting to the spot fast enough as far as on defense. And then I think that translated to their offense. I feel like Howard is a team where if their defense is flowing on all cylinders, their offense is as well. And they kind of feed off of that defensive grit and presence. So I think they'll just have to come out and be sharp on the defensive side of things. Sure, shots won't fall, but you can sure keep the other team from not scoring. So I just don't think that's going to be an excuse if that happens in this game. If your shots aren't falling, well, you just better make sure the other